Blessed love, greetings family. This is Akua from Divine Roots family, and welcome to Rooted Reflections. This is a series of reasonings just on different things that are very vital and important in our community as we move forward as a people in this time. What I want to talk about today is and I'm going to be talking about this, I'm sure, in many different videos because there's so many different layers to it. But basically, social media and social engineering, programming, propaganda, brainwashing, all those kinds of things. And if your first reaction to hearing that is that those are conspiracy theories, it's time to wake up. That's just what I have to say about that. It's time to wake up. So this is so important. Do you all agree that social media is changing the psyche of humanity? Social media is changing the psyche of humanity. That's deep. And it's not something to play around with or to take lightly. These people are creating these platforms knowing that they are addictive, creating them to be addictive. In their minds, it needs to be addictive in order for it to be profitable. There are many different tactics that they use within the coding of these different apps and platforms and things like that to make people come back. There are people whose job it is to sit there and study the habits and patterns of people and then take that data and utilize it to enhance whatever they're creating. Enhancing meaning making it more addictive, meaning making it more profitable for the ones at the top. You need to understand this. You need to understand and overstand this. 360 all the way around. This is not a small thing. Our youth, our children, they don't barely know a life outside of the phone like this. And the fact that they are creating addictive things and placing them in the hands of our children is disgusting and unforgivable. It doesn't even give our youth a chance out here to develop into natural, divine, spiritual beings that they are, because they're automatically met with this technology, this social media, this social engineering and this programming that's embedded into the fabric of society at this point. But the first thing is to just acknowledge that these things are addictive and created to be addictive, okay? If you do your research, not if, when you do your research, you'll find that a lot of times the CEOs of these companies, when they're asked about, because we know that there's enough studies around to know that these things can be very detrimental to our focus, to our drive, our social skills, all of that, right? When you ask these CEOs, what is your opinion about Facebook being addictive or children A, B, C, and D on your platform? What is your opinion of these things? And the common response is, we create our platforms to be as user-friendly as possible, to contribute to the social networking of society, to help people connect with each other. Our focus is just making the platform as user-friendly as possible. But essentially, it is a neutral product, and however the user decides to utilize it is up to them. But it is essentially neutral and the user decides how they're going to implement this platform or this app or whatever it is into their life. That is, I was going to say it's misleading, but it's way more sinister than that. It's not a neutral thing. If you're creating something to be addictive, then how is that something neutral? Because you're intentionally creating something to be addictive. The user now has become an addict, and you knew that would happen. And an addict doesn't make rational decisions. Okay? And so these people are out here acting as if, or proclaiming that these things are just neutral and for the benefit of society and A, B, C, and D. But in their algorithms and in the coding that they're using to create these things, they're specifically putting in certain coding to bring the people in and make them addicting. Instagram, for example, did you know that the likes, sometimes they'll hold your likes back. They won't show you your likes, but they'll release them to you at once so that you're not getting 1 or 2 likes here, 1 or 2 likes here, but you're getting no likes, and then all of a sudden you're getting 35 likes. And so when you pick up your phone and you see all those likes, you get a surge of dopamine in your system. And that feeling creates an addictiveness. So you're always checking for your phone, trying to get that next fix, that next surge of dopamine in the system. And they know that if they're just showing you 1 or 2 likes here, 1 or 2 likes here, that hit isn't going to be as strong. Because it is a hit of drugs. They've already done studies and show that our interaction with social media and the chemicals and hormones that are released in the body is very similar to that of using cocaine. Very, very similar. So people are quite literally addicted to these things. The phone, there's an analogy in this world of social engineering and social programming and technology and all of that kind of stuff. There's an analogy that's being used as the phone being like a slot machine. Like when people go gamble in these casinos, which is a whole nother topic. But, you know, and we've acknowledged that gambling, for example, is an addiction and is really ruins people's lives, and there's all these studies and things and research on that. But the phone is the new slot machine, because your phone's sitting down on the table and you're looking at it like, all right, I'm gonna play my hand, I'm gonna pick up my phone, I'm gonna see what I got. Hope it's something good. Pick up the phone. Nothing. Disappointment. No likes, no messages. Put the phone down. A few minutes later, it's like, all right, I'll play my hand again. See what I got. Hopefully I get something this time. Hopefully it's good. Let's see what happens. Pick up the phone. 35 likes. Surge of dopamine. Put the phone down. A few minutes later. All right, play again. Just want to play again. I'm going to check one more time. Let's just see. Hopefully this time, maybe I'll win even bigger this time. Checking the phone. And that cycle continues over and over throughout our whole day. The average person can't go 10 minutes without looking at their phone. And it's not even when the alarm on our phone goes off for notification or something. There's now a programming inside of our mind after a few minutes telling us, go check the phone. 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 All day. to the point where we can't focus on anything else. They are taking away our ability to be sovereign beings. And again, I mention our children. They're doing this to our youth before they've even gotten a chance to fully develop their brains, to develop their habits. It's sickening. We see this not just with the phone, but with television, media in general. This is an attention economy. You don't pay for Instagram. You don't pay for Facebook. You don't pay physical money. But what you do pay, you're paying attention. Your attention is the currency. And your attention, we know that where our attention goes is where we can manifest, and where our attention is, our attention is one of our greatest tools of manifestation. And if they can capitalize and take our attention away from our personal spiritual journeys and onto them and their product and their platform, they're essentially soul sucking us. We are paying for these apps and these things with our soul. We are trading our soul for these things. It's that deep. The deeper that they can go into the recesses of our mind and deeper into our brainstem, the more control they have. The more they can appeal to those deep things, fear, needing to feel gratification, needing to feel pleasure and attention. These are very survival things. We need those things to survive, right? From our mothers, from our parents, the ones that birth us. We need that attention, and that mechanism of fear helps to keep us safe in our animalistic state. These are very fundamental things that live in the very back of our brain, in our brainstem. So if they can bypass the frontal cortex, the frontal lobe responsible for reasoning, and if they can go past the limbic system and the emotional responses, and they can go deep into the brainstem and appeal to those parts of our self and our mind, then that's when they really have control. And so it is a race to the bottom of the brainstem, and whoever can get the deepest has the most control over us. They know this. It's not an accident. These people know this. They study our brain, they study our body, our patterns, our energy fields, how it's affected by different things. So they intentionally create these things this way to manipulate and control. And the more that we get into the habits of using these machines and engaging in this social media and comparison to other people and invalidating our own experiences and not being able to tell real from fake because it's on this screen in front of us, and all these different things is changing the psyche of humanity and the whole fabric of this physical experience. I have written here, because they know the brain, they can create coding in their systems that play into the brain and manipulates the brain. They give rewards for interacting with these things, rewards such as likes, because that is a reward into the body, and the brain takes it as a reward. Oh, I posted this thing and I have a like now. That is a reward system. And human beings respond to that. They know that. The dopamine released in our system when we interact with these things makes us come back to it. It's highly addictive, and they're putting it into the hands of our youth and our children. A lot of people, and now I want to talk a little bit about data, because the thing that happens with society and humanity is that people get easily complacent. So they'll have all these sci-fi movies that are talking about the future and how it's going to look and all this high technology, and they make it seem as if it's just a fantasy. You know, it's just a made up story. It's a movie. So people watch these movies, and then they forget that this is actually reality. So when it happens in reality, there is this schism in being able to understand that it's really happening. It's important to understand that that's what's going on in the mind. They create complacency by projecting images around us so that we aren't able to really distinguish what's real and what's not, what's true and what's not. It's mass manipulation and mind control. And with data, a lot of times people are saying, well, I'm not doing anything wrong, so why does it matter if people are spying on me? Or, you know, what does it matter if they're just watching my patterns online? Like, it doesn't affect me. I need you to know that they're using all of this information and data that you are giving over to them to further manipulate you. Because over long periods of time, they're watching your moods based on how much you're interacting with these applications, based on the things that you're writing. Are you angry at this time of the month? Are you happy at this time? And they start to capture this data, and they can see patterns in your emotions and in your ways of being and in your activity and your habits. And then in their coding, meaning the way that they write these applications, the way they design them, they can take that data that they've extracted from you and utilize it to implement certain things into their algorithms, because they know when you're going to be happy. They know what time of the day you're going to look more over here and over here. And so they can place things in their coding to appeal to that. And over time, the more data and information that you are giving them, the more control that they have over you. They can create the next machine, the next app. They know you're going to love it because they know your patterns and your habits. And in terms of artificial intelligence, and I'm going to hop over a lot of different places in this video because I'm going to keep coming back and talking about this topic. And if I don't dive deep into something here, trust it will be addressed, because this is something that I'm not allowing to go by without reasoning about, because it's important. But when they with artificial intelligence, I lost my train of thought for a second. With artificial intelligence and with technology in general, the nature is for it to grow, right? A technology, you have one thing, and then the next thing is the better version of it, and then so on and so forth. The nature is to grow. With artificial intelligence specifically, the nature is for it to grow because it's constantly learning things. But the thing is, the more that it learns, the quicker that it learns. Which is why we've seen such a huge surge in artificial intelligence-based technology in the last few years. And it's happened so rapidly. Because the more that it learns, the quicker that it learns. And they're using your data to feed into these artificial intelligence systems to make them more efficient. And they take your fingerprint, your face, your voice. It's crazy. And you are being, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And your whole physical experience is being disrupted and manipulated by these people. And that doesn't bother you? It doesn't bother you that your children are being subjected to these things? To the point where schools now are starting to tell youth that they don't need to bring pen and paper. They just need to bring a laptop to work on. That's horrible. That's horrible. It's messing with our cognitive functioning and our development. It's messing with our ability to interact with the world and our reasoning skills. To focus. If you watch television now, because our brains, people have such a hard time focusing. If you watch television now, it's all these different camera angles constantly. The camera's constantly panning into different angles. All these colors going on. Moving your eye here, 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 because it's about attention. Remember, we are in an attention economy. You pay your attention. So everything is a race for how long we can keep the user's attention. So the moving your eyes around the screen. You're looking at this, this is going on. And for those of you who still watch television, they have these tactics that they use in media. For example, right before a commercial break, something happens in the television show that makes you want to stay there, so that after the commercial break, you're still there. Because those commercials, those advertisements which pay for that television show, they need a lot of people to be watching. So if that show can make sure you're not going to change the channel, and that a lot of people are watching right before that commercial break, that means all those people watching are going to see those commercials. And whether you think advertisements and commercials affect you or not, they do. That's why I always turn them off. And I don't, not on television, but like on Spotify and things, when they have those advertisements playing, because I don't pay for Spotify, I switch them off. Because I don't even want that vibration coming into my field. And those are the little ways that we can start taking back the control of our experience. Pay attention to those things. You look at little children now and they're looking at the phone screens as if they're just being sucked into it. And the parents just sitting there, not even paying attention to the fact that your child is being taken away, taken over by these machines. That needs to hit you in your heart. It's not okay for them to be doing this. They know these machines are cancerous. They know this. Women going in for mammograms and having the shape of a phone come up in the x-ray, because she keeps her phone in her bra right on her body. Or having it show up on the hip because people are keeping their phones in their pockets. And it's letting off radiation. Because people are so addicted to these machines, they have to keep them on their body at all time. So not only is it affecting your mind and your cognitive skills, it's affecting your physical being, biologically. Physically, it's affecting you, it's poisoning you. People sleeping with their phones right here on their pillow when they're asleep at night. And when you're sleeping, you're most susceptible to this radiation coming into your body because your defenses are in a different frequency. This is not a conspiracy. This is truth. And it's really time for people to start taking it more seriously. Dr. Dilbert Blair, blessings to the Baba, to the elder, to one of our great teachers. He says TV, radio, microwave, cell phone, overhead power lines, and you do nothing to defend yourself against it. In fact, you want to buy the bigger and better version of it. This is the mentality that we're living in. The information is here for us, family. The mass manipulation and mind control and social programming of our people has got to end. And while these things are addictive, it's knowledge that breaks that spell and allows us to come into a place of self-governing and awareness and higher consciousness, to take back control of our lives. So this is just, I touched on a lot of little different things here, and I'm going to come back and continue making these videos. But I just wanted to put this first one out just to get your mind moving. All right? This is a spiritual warfare. Did you hear that? This is a spiritual warfare. They don't... I just get filled with... so many different emotions. Because they're really out here manipulating life for their own profit. They're changing the fabric of humanity all over the entire world. And they could care less. They could make these platforms, these social media platforms, and all of these different apps and things, they could design them to be more healthy, more beneficial. But instead, they're implementing little things into their coding, like I was talking about with the likes, where they're holding the likes back so that they get shown to you in big bursts. Or they're creating a scrolling platform where, because they know that people are going to scroll. Scrolling down makes people just keep scrolling and keep scrolling and keep scrolling. Why do you think Instagram is like that? It is addicting. Scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. That's not on accident. It's not on accident. So take back control of your experience here. I don't like being manipulated and lied to, and I know you don't either. All right? So just remember that. Don't allow yourself to be so easily swayed like a sheep. Stand up. Because this is our life that we are living. So my camera keeps cutting out. But I'm going to put a pin here and end the video here. Like I said, I'm going to come back and keep talking about this. I would love to know what you all think about this subject. And honestly, what kind of things do you tell yourself to justify using these things? Do you experience, feelings of addiction? Do you not? What do you do to balance that out? Let me know. I want to continue this reasoning. This isn't just a one-sided thing. There's so much more that I have to learn about all of this. But I will continue to share what I do know and to just help activate, because I know there's so much going on. It's easy to kind of just get burnt out with it all. And I hope that with these videos and with these interactions, there's an activation that can happen, because we need to feed each other and help lift each other up and to continue on in this spiritual warfare, because we have work to do. And we can't be complacent and just let things pass by and be observers. It's time to be active in the thing. All right? So take care of yourself, take care of your being, and create boundaries. Because if you don't, they're just going to take you over. And they're going to be the ones steering your journey as opposed to you steering it. Don't let these people manipulate you, and don't let these people get to your children, to our children. So until next time, this has been Akua from Divine Roots Family, and this is Rooted Reflections. Talk to you soon. Wholeness and balance. Blessings.